And we are in Siena, the heart of Tuscany, on a cloudy day. This is the city center that I'm told is filled with tourists and youths from all around the world and Italy in the spring and summer times. The brickwork of this, that is just spectacular. It's pretty comfortable to walk on. And as I usually do in these towns, the first thing is to find a place to eat. I wonder what local Siena cuisine is, but we'll try to find a local place, see if they have a pasta or something. Look at this. Found a nice place to have lunch just across from this. What is that? Is that a church or the main tower?
No.
Well, that tower is to Siena what the other tower was to Florence that we went up.
Yep.
And I'm guessing back in the day the city was filled with a lot of towers.
Yeah, there were. I think only one of them survived. Even in Florence, there's one or two that survived. But each of these wealthy families would build these towers. It's a sign of wealth. So there's paintings that reflect this, and there's in those paintings you could see the skyline of these towers, just filled with these towers.
So we're actually seeing the poor side of Siena and Florence. Back in the day, they were probably
I think,
really immensely
yeah.
rich. They're probably not as clean,
Yeah, I think those towers
but
probably, I think, uglify the city. I don't think the city looks good with those towers.
really.
Yeah, I think if it's one or two, sure. These are not glass towers.
I also wonder how uniform and compact the cities were back then. Now they have, different unions and meetings that they're like, if you're building something new, it has to match, whatever, the yellow and the bricks of the building. I don't think you could do new construction like you can in North America. But I wonder back then if they gave a shit. They're like, well, I'm just building with this, whatever I have. So this is low season, huh?
Yeah, I mean, during the summertime, this is fully packed. Looks like half the patios are not even open.
Yeah. Still looks very pretty though, even though it's January.
And even on the way here, most things were closed.
Yeah. Do most Americans come here in the summertime?
Most people are not coming in the summertime.
Ready?
Oh, actually, we haven't even looked at the menu.
You want bottled water?
Yeah, just some tap water.
All in the bottom.
Okay.
Still is okay?
Yeah,
Sure.
it's fine.
Right, so what did I end up eating with this gorgeous view is that is my carbonara to be enjoyed with this gorgeous view. You already massacred your pizza?
They don't cut the pizza.
They don't cut the pizza in Italy. No pizza cuts. I mean, you only come to Siena once in a lifetime. You gotta live a little. Or maybe twice in a lifetime. We'll see. Well, if we can find a coffee shop for me, that'd be even better.
So low season right now. In the summertime, it's packed.
It's packed in the summertime? Huh, maybe I should come in the summertime again. Redo the same cities, compare and contrast, winter, summer, autumn. You can see they still have the Christmas lights up. It was like 2 weeks ago. I smell sandwiches, prosciutto, and some cheese. It is very nice here in Siena. Empty city streets. Of course, have to take into account that people might actually be working.
Right? Because it's my phone's gonna die.
All right, let's explore some of Siena with the Siena man. There's a cross at the top. It's got to be a church.
You know, there's like no lineup for that tower. Usually you need a ticket. I wonder if we could just get in and take a look at it. Huh?
We can go and ask.
Yeah, let's go ask.
There's a short man standing outside. It's usually a good sign.
He's probably not involved with the tower ticket system.
You don't think so?
No.
I believe in him. I want him to be a ticketer. How does...
Usually the ticket men are wearing some kind of a ribbon to
Ah,
identify
yes.
them from the non-ticket population.
It's good. They get their uniform on day one, they start working.
Yeah, it's a sign of status. You hold the keys. You are the gatekeeper to museums, towers, castles, churches. And only you decide who gets in and who doesn't.
To live that life, to have that privilege.
That power must be
The-
addictive.
Ticket man at a European tower.
Oh, dude, you thought on the phone.
That's the kind of life I want to live. The kind of career I want to have.
Ticket system. Looks
Que
like
bello.
there's a ticket office.
Ticket office. There's an arrow, and it points you to that towards that old lady. Ah. There you go. So, what do they say?
Tower's closed for today.
The tower is closed? So the tower takes a day off.
No, it's shuts down, I think, after 2 or 3 or something like that.
Oh, goodbye, tower.
So we're not going to go to the tower.
Well,
There's other things you see. I'm just not going to go see them.
all right. Well,
We can see the other view. Let's see if I can find it. Good view of the city. It's on the other side. I think if we go around long enough, we'll be able to find that view.
okay.
It's really dead. I can't emphasize how dead this is.
It's not enough people, huh?
See, it's more noticeable in a town like Siena, where it's a very small town. Not as noticeable in Firenze, although it is noticeable. But not as noticeable because you have local population in and around the city of Firenze. Because they're not all bartenders and waiters, you know. They've got other lives going on there.
In Firenze?
Yeah, so they're just walking around, so it's a bit less noticeable. Here is really, really dead in low season. This sort of feels almost as dead, but not quite, as what you'd imagine like a Greek island would be in low season. You know? I mean, that would be completely dead if there's probably no airport functioning.
I mean, I think they closed down the airport in a Greek island in low season.
Yeah, this is like the next deadest thing. As you see in the summertime, you have students that originate from Siena working these jobs, but now they're probably in college somewhere. They're not here.
Can't blame them. But they come back to this two-mule town, as the guy said in The Godfather Part 2. Well, joke's on him. These towns are great.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was thinking about Sicily.
I want to go to Sicily. I think that's going to be great too. Which way? This way? The lonely streets of Siena, Italy, Tuscany. Yes, this is in Tuscany region.
In the medieval time, there was a rivalry between Siena and Firenze. Eventually, Firenze won. And that became the capital, unofficial, official, largest city, more influential.
So Firenze beat up Siena.
Yeah.
They do look like they were beat up. But back then they used to hire a lot of mercenaries for their armies. It wasn't even local boys. It was the boys of tradesmen that did the fighting. Probably not. Maybe they were captains or something, but I would venture a guess it was probably mercenaries. Possibly Germanic tribes. To get Swiss mercenaries. A lot of times they used to turn on their leaders, get paid more by the opposing side. Beautiful Siena. Very different than Firenze. There's not a lot of coffee shops. Where you get my coffee.
Again, you're seeing this incredibly dead period of fear.
Maybe I can get a coffee. No, that's a Conrad. It's a grocery store.
There's a coffee place here.
Huh? You think I can get a coffee here?
It's open. It looks like it is open. Yeah, you can
Is
get
it? All right. Do you want a coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 hours. Huh? Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Looks like all the students have left. Honestly, this is the deadest touristic town that I've seen. And that includes France,
Yeah.
Spain, Portugal.
I think. Well, Portugal was a surprise. So Porto was like
Hold on, those are bigger cities.
bigger cities, right?
So-
So it's not. I mean, Florence was. There's a
had
lot
like
of people in Florence.
Porto had like a subway and the airports, and then this is a really small town. So
Well, even
I
last
think
night,
that-
I think Florence last night didn't really have a lot of people. Like the Ponte
Yeah.
Vecchio was closed and everything. So it's definitely low season in Italy. People just coming back from celebrating New Year's. You know, they're going back to work.
absolutely, yeah.
Not
I
everybody can
think
just go around the world and do fuck off.
Yeah, I think January is definitely low season. You know.
I think in the use of these Italian coffees.
But Siena in particular, because you know it's out of the way, it's a small town, and you really, if you're in Italy and you see Siena, you're really seeing it as part of a package, right? You don't just come in and see Siena. You sort of like see a couple of cities, and Siena is maybe one of those cities. You can see Firenze.
Right.
So, yeah, it's but the cool thing is that there's no lineups anywhere. You can kind of walk around, plenty of seating, even in a few places that are open.
I wonder if the prices are better too.
I don't know the prices change.
No.
That
They have the
menu
same
just have the
price.
same prices. 23
It's
euros
like
for a
mostly
burger.
empty restaurant, 23 euro burgers. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, they might be losing money in the winter. We're just paying the.
It's about how much they
electricity
lose.
bills,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not exactly like a Greek island
Right.
where everything closes down, but it's close enough. I think.
Because the Greek island, you're just going for the beach. There's no, if it's cold, you're like,
Oh, yeah.
what the hell am I doing there? This one, there's Americans renting villas in the countryside. They can come, they
just
live all
anybody
year
that rents
round.
villas,
So they're
right.
doing the whole Diane Lane under the Tuscan sun kind of lifestyle.
Yeah, it's an odd reference, but I do know the reference.
Face it, you like the movie. You
No,
love it.
I
It's your
think- I
favorite. It's
think,
your top three.
The movie, the movie is a failure. Under the Tuscan sun.
Right.
Right? It starts out.
Sandra Oh is in the movie as well.
She is in the movie. Yes. I think it starts out okay, but there's no conflict in the movie.
That's right. That's right.
I don't know. I think she has money. So again, like, if she has money, what's the conflict?
Movies where the main character has money but can't find love or like needs to change
Sure,
or whatever.
she just like
it's very
needs to change.
hard.
It's really
Yeah.
weird. Yeah. It's,
It's like, I need a castle.
plus, the whole travel movie thing has been done to death
It has been. I mean,
By literally-
you could put a different
by
twist.
literally everyone.
You could move to India.
So
That's the
like
difference.
that movie has become sort of a contemporary. It's like watching your own life. You'd be like, I can do this too. What's the
The
point?
thing is,
Why am I
what you
watching
don't
this?
understand is it's a chick flick. It's a that's why it appeals to a lot of women. Women love the movie.
Hey,
They love the
I
American
can
women. Love
watch
the,
a chick flick and say, you know, this is a decent movie.
how about Eat, Pray, Love? A woman goes from
That movie.
New York.
In hindsight, that
was-
movie is a disaster.
Hey, she goes to Rome, she eats, and then she goes to pray in India, and then she goes to
Tell you what,
Indonesia to find a Brazilian
that
man.
movie is responsible for probably thousands of sexual assaults in India. Because a lot of women thought they can go to India by themselves, take trains and do all that. So like, I feel like
Mm. See
the
that?
writer of
Stay
that,
safe.
I feel like the writer of that should like apologize to all the young girls that have been sexually assaulted in India, in my opinion.
No, I think she based it on her own story, but then she actually ends up divorcing the guy that she marries. So if you've seen Eat, Pray, Love, at the end of the movie, she ends up with this Brazilian guy based on the author's own experiences, and in real life, the author actually breaks up with a man.
So clearly she
So
was a
clearly,
problem.
you know, Eat, Pray, you know, clearly that was a,
I
but it was a
think
best-selling book.
Here's my take on the movie. If they had added a vagina reconstruction surgery to the movie,
You know, those are good anyway.
yeah. So
Let's just
I
have
feel
that.
like that was a problem in the movie.
Yes.
I feel like all those men were sort of like,
That's why they were leaving her.
yeah. It's
And nobody was because men are too nice. They never say. So they're like, I don't know. You know, I want somebody else. It's like,
it should be an open debate. It should be like,
should be.
listen, some women need it.
Yeah, she was probably born with it. So it's like,
Oh yeah, it's
this
not
is
a
what you
fault,
need.
it's
Yeah.
not. But yeah.
And men need other things too. So you gotta meet them halfway. But That's
By
true.
the way, that Brazilian guy in real life looks nothing like Javier Bardem in the movie.
Right. Yeah, they got. Well, I'm pretty
Seems
sure the
like
girl
older
doesn't look like Julia
bald
Roberts in
guy,
the
like,
movie.
just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
We're talking. I mean,
She actually looks okay.
oh, she does.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
seen. I don't know what she looks
Yeah,
like.
so like,
So she ends up with an ugly man.
no, he's not. No, that's unfair. I'm just saying, he's no Javier Bardem.
He's no Javier Bardem.
But then again, when I read the article, I think it was like on the Daily Mail or something. He's a lot older now, so maybe he was.
Yeah, maybe he was
I'm
a
not quite sure
looker.
what period of time
Blair.
the movie/book was set in.
What
But
was
again, it was
that?
one of those movies with no conflict.
What was that Russell Crowe movie that he inherits a villa? Was that in Tuscany? I thought it was in Tuscany.
No, that was in France,
Oh,
and that was a vineyard,
oh
chateau.
man, I've been living under a complete
So
misapprehension.
that one had a clear conflict, right?
Because he inherited something. So right there, you're like,
I'm gonna explain to you because I've seen that movie.
okay, I'm not really sure. I
Here's
confused
the-
it with Gladiator.
Here's the conflict in the movie. This guy will work in finance in London, right?
Oh,
And
so
the
he
whole
has a
thing
British
was-
accent in this one.
Yeah, he's supposed to be British.
Oh,
from London,
Alright.
right? And then he's somehow ends up in this chateau because there's an inheritance issue where he has to kind of solve, right?
Right.
But then he figures out the simple life of
Farming.
not so much farming, but vineyard, wines, making wines,
Village.
grapes,
Right.
that kind of thing, right? And at first he hates it, then he loves it. And the conflict there is, if you've got all this money and making big bucks in finance in London, do you actually have the time to enjoy the money that you make?
Okay.
And there's a great scene in the movie where I believe his boss or somebody there offers him a position or offers him something at the end of the movie.
Right.
And he eventually buys a painting or one of these really expensive ones. And Russell Crowe tells him, "Do you ever look at it? Do you ever look at this painting?" And
Right.
he didn't even understand the question. He's like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean? Do you ever look at the painting?" And then if you don't look at it, then what's the point in having all the money to buy it?
Right.
And then eventually he moves back to the village, and then obviously there's a romantic interest, this beautiful French woman, of course. But she was sort of a B story.
Where are these women?
I guess in
We went to
Crowe
France. I
movie.
think they were hiding them.
no, we were in the wrong chateau.
Ah, you
So
have
what
to have a
we should do is
chateau.
we should contact the writer that wrote the movie,
Right.
right?
He probably killed himself after he
And
wrote
then,
it.
where was it set? Where was it based? And then rent the chateau for like a month,
And then
and
they
then live that
appear.
life.
This is crazy.
yeah.
Like Lord of the Rings, you got to go into that cave. Then the king of the
Yeah, I
ghosts.
think eventually there's a job, not quite sure what it's called, but it's a profession of someone that looks after a vineyard. I don't know if it's a groundskeeper or something.
A
right?
vineyard manager,
The master of the vineyard. I don't know what it's called.
project manager of
It might have
vineyard.
been a French name
Right.
for a job.
Okay.
And I think in that movie, that character who was supposed to be kind of an idiot, he was like the village idiot. I
The
believe,
jester,
yeah.
the court jester.
He ends up, I think, inheriting the vineyard.
No way. So this does not have a happy ending. Does
No,
Russell Crowe marry
Russell
the
Crowe
French woman?
still ends up living in the village with that woman, drinking wine. Actually, there's even a scene where,
This is a story about alcoholics.
well, I wouldn't, yes, in a way, yes. Snobby alcoholics with
It's
wine.
like Ernest
not liquor.
Hemingway books. Every character had jaundice, but it was okay.
Yeah. And there's another scene in the movie where he caters to some American tourists. Somehow he's a waiter, I'm not quite sure. In the movie.
Russell
He's
Crowe?
helping run, I guess, the restaurant that the woman works in, or possibly the vineyard has a restaurant, not quite sure. I've only seen the movie once.
It's quite the.
And there's a scene where American tourists stop by, and I think they ask for something that's not on the menu, possibly beer or wine in a box or a burger.
T-bone steak. That's what Americans
something
ask for.
stereotypical. And then he grabs the menus, tells them to leave.
Good.
Right.
I'm with him on this one.
And this was
That's what I would have done.
But this was sort of a pre.
If I had a restaurant or a job as a waiter, or a chateau in France.
But this was like a pre-recession film, so it only
Right.
made sense then.
See, this is the weird thing about cinema is that we divide them according to what's happening in real life. So we have the pre-9/11, post-9/11. We have the pre-recession,
The
post-recession.
problem is, after that recession, Europe was crushed,
Right.
and they would in no way, shape, or form turn down tourists for money or anything like that because they were in no position to do so. I mean, they were really, really crushed.
Yeah, I mean, they seem pretty nice now, the Europeans. They want you to come in and stay, and
Yeah.
they got a golden visa program.
So at that time when the movie came out, and you can imagine the script was probably written 3 years before,
Yeah,
they were running high.
yeah,
Euro was doing well.
yeah.
They were running really
On
high.
top of the world,
Yeah.
winning World Cups. They're like, why can't American do this? They do this.
Yeah, they were running really, really high. That's all gone now.
It's all gone.
That's all gone now. So
This is all there is. They're selling candy and coffee. Good. Good. All right, maybe we can move on, see what else there is to explore of Siena.
yeah, let's see if we can find that view where you're sort of in the other side of the city, but you're looking at all the houses, including that tower as well.
Let's do it. This is where gladiators and tigers came out of, these doors. Possibly. That's what I want to believe. Another construction project.
That's the church.
Oh, what a beauty. Wow. Oh, they try to copy the Florence one.
Well, as I said, there was a rivalry.
Huh?
There was a rivalry.
This was some rivalry. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Italy is truly blessed. I can't wrap my head around this. Notice the differences between this one and the Florence ones. Do you see the differences between this one and the Florence? Look at the patterns at the tower. But you could definitely tell these guys had a penis envy with the Florentines. The Medici family. Oh, so gorgeous. Of course, getting out of here isn't easy. Well, at least we're not climbing stairs. We're going down on them, right?
Yeah.
This way? Okay. Fortezza Medici. Sounds like the Medici fortress. But we're in Siena.
I'm not sure if it's related to the Medici.
It's not related to Medici.
It may not. I'm not quite sure.
We're gonna get some kind of a view of the whole town from here.
Yes, this is the fortress. With the there we go. We can take a look at it more. Oh, it is the Medici. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, this is built way later. Oh my God.
In the 16th century.
16th century. Yeah.
Cosimo
much,
the
much
First
better.
de Medici. Well, good for Cosimo. I believe in him. To think that men back then built such big structures. And now
They're taking down
it's a Christmas market. Wow. It's ridiculous. More respect for the elders, for the ancients. Think we'll get a view from the top?
oh, I know.
You know it?
Yeah.
You guarantee this?
Yeah.
Huh. Smart man. Today has been the day of climbing. Every day is climbing day when you're in Europe. On season, off season, doesn't really matter. All that matters is your ability to process sugar, sandwiches, food, and appreciate vistas, views of ancient stuff. Renaissance, the Enlightenment, perhaps Roman ruins, who knows? Was this a Roman town? You'd have to believe.
Actually, but I think most Italian towns had a foundation. So if you dig deep enough, I'm sure.
You'll find some Roman.
Yeah.
Was a nice park. It's a little bit away from the old town center, this castle, but it does give you an interesting view of old Siena. And why not? Ah.
Right here.
There's more locals in this part of Siena. They're doing their
The
walks.
season right now is pretty much locals.
Yeah. Ba 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 ba. Wow. It's a great view. That is quite something. The town in all its glory. So impressions?
Well, it was better last time, mostly because it was summer and the sun was shining.
Yeah, I have no.
See, all of these houses, the way they're colored, is when the sun bounces off these facades, they look amazing.
I have no doubt that's when you get your money's worth, when it's sunny. But we're here. Might as well enjoy this view. It's still pretty breathtaking. But I gotta say, this past couple of weeks in Southern Europe, the sun has been MIA. But that has not stopped the Europeans from enjoying themselves. They're out and about. They're eating their desserts, their pasta, their pizzas. They're drinking their wines, their espressos, and they're fighting with their women. And you know what? I appreciate them for it. I actually got to zoom in. Can't even see it, that's why it's so dark. What was that over there? The trees, yeah.
Oh, man, they're like new buildings.
Huh.
Oh God, no, these are the other ones. These ones have the there's a
So this is
countryside back there.
Old Siena.
Oh, this isn't very old. That's Old Siena, and that's the countryside.
You need some Godfather music, but that's Sicily, so that would not be appropriate. What's the singer from Siena?
I have no idea.
You gotta Google this singer from Siena.
See that? Those are the Tuscan hills.
Yeah, you want to live on the hills, huh?
Yep.
Go all the way to the Tuscan hills. Rent a villa, vino, cheese.
Everything.
Well, it will happen. Put your mind to something. Very nice. Very nice. Do they make cheese here? They make cheese in Parma.
I mean, they make cheese everywhere.
Huh. How old do you think these walls are? Look at this. 16th century. 16th century craftsmanship. Yeah, there's no moving this. Man, imagine all the mold in these old apartment buildings. I guess it makes for great Airbnbs in the summertime, but I do not envy whoever has to live here 12 months a year with the mold. We're going back to that piazza?
No, we're gonna go on the bypass of King Street over to the other side of town.
Ah, the other side of town. Never been there before. They say it's nice. I feel like it's more lively now.
Well, people are getting off work.
Uh-huh.
Schools are down.
Mm-hmm.
Government jobs are done.
Yeah.
Now they're kind of walking around doing their shopping.
I wonder what percentage of employees in a town like this are government workers. I guess 50%.
55, 60% probably.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to include in this sort of jobs like cleaner and garbage man, etc.
Yeah, you get to clean the city.
Yeah. Police, some other security, electricians for the city.
The guys that put these lights up,
Yeah,
taking
and
them
then I'll
down.
also include teachers and doctors, etc.
Nurses, yeah.
They're like done now. They're out and about.
Yeah, they fixed everything.
Yeah.
So until tomorrow. This was a cute city.
Oh, definitely worth a visit. If you're in Firenze,
An hour and a half away
daily
by
trip.
train.
You don't need to stay the night. I would have but just
No,
come in and
I
get
mean
out.
unless you're doing something specifically that's Sienese, neat Siena things.
Guess you could visit the countryside here and there.
Yeah.
I think a daily trip is enough.
All right, let's see if we can get a coffee. It's just old people in town, some guest workers from all around the world, and us
Cafe
walking
right
around.
here.
And this was the same cafe we went to.
Nope.
A different one? You sure? Oh, this is a different one. Yeah, let's get a coffee. The situation is that it's getting a little bit cooler in Siena. Feeling a bit colder than I did in Florence. A lot more people walking out and about. Town seems more lively. It was pretty dead when we got here in the AM, but it's certainly more lively right now. Actually, this was the place I wanted to have the coffee. I just didn't remember the Nani. Oh no, Nanini. Nanini. Ah, too bad. Looks like a chain though. That's great. That's my gelato. Siena in January. That's the main square. Huh? Huh. You can't get enough.
Sì, sì, tanto non...
Properties for sale? 800,000.
These are these Tuscan villas that I'm talking about.
300,000? But Instagram tells me they're like 25,000. Okay.
No, those are not in Siena. Those are some other town in Siena.
Wow, Siena's expensive. Well, I found one for 145,000. There you go.
That's 550 square feet.
Wow, look at this. 2.7 million. Might as well go to LA again. Just move to a house there. Somebody pays 2.7 million to come and live in Siena? Would you? They're not offering you anything. They're saying, come here, give us 2.7 million, and you can live in this villa.
Yeah, if I've got 2.7 million to spend.
The town square. That god awful noise from that guy trying to build something is gone.
Yep.
I think he went home. He can be found walking in the promenade. That's where we had lunch. Beautiful town. Beautiful town. Very nice. Nicely decorated too. I hope they keep these lights all year round. They go with the facade of the walls, the red and yellow. It's really nice. I wish I'd come here during the touristy season, maybe during summertime, but maybe I will. Now you could actually hear the church bells. It's 5 o'clock. On the dot.